I would say my number one pro tip in coming to Cairo is don't come to Cairo.
Hey guys, welcome back to Eileen's World and the next stop on my world tour, Cairo. If you're planning a trip to the capital of Egypt or want to visit the Great Pyramids, please keep on watching to make sure you're prepared for this chaotic city. We arrived in Cairo International Airport, and since we were coming from our Nile cruise, we already had our visa. If you're visiting from the US, you can purchase your visa upon arrival for $25. You can pay with US dollars, and if you don't have exact change, they'll provide you the change. Uber is reliable and cheap in Cairo, and it was our main mode of transportation while we were there. In Cairo, cash was definitely more useful than credit cards. Money can be exchanged in most ATMs using the official government rate.
So you enter in whatever denominations you need, and then it gives you Egyptian pounds. We haven't had any issues with it until tonight, where it didn't want to accept any of my 20s. We have arrived to Valencia Hotel in downtown Cairo. Room tour. There's a big fridge. A bathroom bigger than our last bathroom. A little desk area with a kettle, a TV, big closet, and 2 double beds. I guess that's the size. And a window with the view to the building.
Despite all the rave reviews that I found online, I don't have many positive things to say about this hotel, except the staff was really nice and the rooms were large. It's located in a dilapidated building, the Wi-Fi was non-existent, and the lighting in the room just made me really sad.
Good afternoon from Cairo. Today is our first full day in this crazy, wild, dangerous, on the streets, crossing the streets in a car. Ah! See? Almost got ran over. Now we are headed over to the Egyptian Museum, which is a 12-minute walk from where we're staying at. You gotta love the Egyptian people. So we were waiting to cross the street because this particular street actually has like a red, green light for walking, and it was red, so we're waiting for it to go green. And this gentleman says, you can go. Anytime in Egypt, you can go, as long as you have a strong heart. I said, I'll just wait for the green light to go on. All right, we made it to the entrance of the Egyptian Museum. Very, very quick walk from our hotel. Quick, but very dangerous. We had to activate our strong hearts to cross the street. They certainly like to smoke on the job here. Okay, it's 200 Egyptian pounds for visitors, aka us. If you want photography, it's additional 50 Egyptian pounds. Video, it's additional 300 Egyptian pounds. What is this? They don't accept credit cards, allegedly. I was like, card. He's like, cash. I'm like, card. He's like, cash. I was like, fine. Some of the descriptions could use a little bit of update. Just saying. So my first impression of this museum is that it's huge. There's a lot to see, there's a lot of artifacts, but if anything, I kind of feel like it's just all these artifacts dumped in here. And you know what this place reminds me of? The alabaster factory that we went to in Luxor. It's like all these Egyptian things just laying around for us. Behind these walls is where you'll find the tombs. No, the coffins. The coffins of Tutankhamun and his mask. Can you see it? It's in there. It's actually really cool, but you can't take any photos, so you'll just have to come and see it for yourself. So this floor has some of the things that they found in Tutankhamun's tomb. So this alabaster creation here, this 4 containers had Tutankhamun's organs, his intestines, liver, stomach, etc. And the containers inside these containers are actually inside there, and they're made of gold, and they look exactly like Tutankhamun's tomb. And this container was actually found in this work of art. And I have to say, it was surprisingly not very crowded in there. Like, there was nobody hovering over the coffins or the mask. There I was, face to face with Tutankhamun's mask. Wow. We are at Le Poire Cafe for lunch, which is literally across the street from the Egyptian Museum. We spent about 2 hours there, and I would say, even though it seems like it's a huge warehouse of antiquities, the $10 is definitely worth it to see all of the treasures from Tutankhamun's tomb. Super hot. This cafe has like a mix of like pasta and salads and sandwiches, and I'm starving. Oh, so good. So minty, so lemony. Instagram versus reality. And then we got the bacon carbonara. Everything was pretty mediocre. The fries that were here were kind of sad. The chicken tenders were good. The mozzarella sticks were mozzarella sticks. The spring rolls were an interesting Egyptian take on a spring roll, I guess. And the pasta was all right. It needed a little bit more salt. But, you know, considering how hungry we were, we finished everything. This was the best part of the meal. So we just finished our lunch at La Poire. And of course, there's always something that happens. We ordered a Diet Pepsi, which never came. And when we got the bill, it was on the bill. And the guy said that he couldn't remove it from the bill and try to offer us the Pepsi, which at that point we didn't want anymore. It became a whole thing.
Drama.
Drama. Always drama. And keep in mind that the prices include the VAT, but it doesn't include the 12% gratuity that is automatically added to the check. So just be on the lookout for that. This is Cairo, y'all. And this isn't even a busy street. There's busier. And it was a very interesting walk. We basically went out of the tourist area and it was like locals only. It was very lively. There were tons of stray dogs. There was a goat tied to a tree. Vendors selling everything, people out and about. It was pretty wild. All right, we are at this restaurant that is located one floor beneath our room. We got moved from the other room, which has chairs and table, to sitting on the floor. I guess he wanted to give us an authentic experience. This is our watermelon mint, our molten cake. Oh my God, look at this strawberry drink. Strawberry juice. The density of the strawberry juice is just next level.
I think the more we're gonna have here pasta.
Oh shit. We just made it back to our hotel room. That is it for day one in Cairo. It's wild, it's hot. White knuckling it every time I'm crossing the street or in a car. But yeah, time to get some rest. Good night. Good morning. It's 10:04 and we are just here having breakfast at our hotel. And today we have banana, bread, an egg, falafel. This is called fool. It's mashed up beans. Some eggplant, cucumber, tomato. Looks good. About to get runt over. So we thought it was bad in the souks and the Medinas in Morocco, but there's even less walking space and people are still coming through in their mopeds, scooters, or whatever. Very interesting. All right, so we made it to the part of the market where now you see just like a bunch of souvenirs and trinkets, whereas the area that we came from was for sure catered to locals because they were selling like school supplies, kitchen things, toys, just basically things tourists won't need. But now we're definitely in the area where you can buy your alabaster pyramids, your Shakira belly dancing thing, you know? So we just left the Al-Azhar Mosque, which is right behind me. No video allowed in there, and photography is fine if you're a female. I thought I came prepared. I brought my head covering. I'm all covered up. But they do give you a skirt when you're inside, and also if you're coming with your husband or boyfriend or partner, whatever it is, they don't allow you to be like super close to each other when you're taking photos, so just be mindful of that. Just keep a little distance, and you'll be fine. Nice open air mosque and very pretty in the inside, and it doesn't smell like feet. We were entering the park, or like the driveway to the park, and then a guy in a golf cart said, "Are you trying to go to the park?" We said, "Yeah," and he said, "Okay, £5 per person." I was like, you know what? It's hot like hell. It's a quarter. I don't care how far the drive is. Let's do it. So he just dropped us off. We are at the Citadel restaurant, and look at this view. We got a lemon mint juice because when in Egypt, drink as the Egyptians do. It's in this like baguette, but a soft baguette, and there's some sort of mayo, spicy mayo sauce on it. I realized what this sauce is. It's not a creamy mayo. It's tahini. Tahini? Just finished our meal. Let me give you a quick recap of how everything was. Lemon mint juice, very good, recommend. The kofta sandwich, very good, recommend. The creamy chicken soup, hell no. Tasted like flour, water, and chicken pieces. I did let the waiter know that. I was not a fan of that. Oh, there was one more thing I forgot to add about what happened at the Citadel. So when we sat down, we ordered our drinks. Jose ordered a Coke and I ordered a lemon juice. We were very clear on what we ordered. And when he brought our drinks, he brought a big old bottle of water that we didn't order. And it's not that the water is expensive. It's just, I don't know, 20 pounds, 15 pounds. But it's the fact that we didn't order it, and yet he still brought it to our table. And he was pressuring Jose to buy a lemon juice because it was double the price of a Coke. I would still recommend going to the restaurant if you're coming to this park because it has a beautiful view. The food is not bad except for that chicken soup, aside from the waiters that try to bamboozle you. Otherwise, if you're at the park, come to the Citadel. Okay. We made it to Salah al-Din Citadel. It's the largest citadel in the Islamic world. We actually came to see the Muhammad Ali Mosque, and which is free, but to get into this entire complex, it's 200 Egyptian pounds. As you can assume, it's very hot. It's end of September and it's very hot here. So if you're not a fan of walking, I mean, we like to walk. You can always take an Uber because it's probably way more enjoyable than walking in some of these streets and some of these heats. We're a glutton for pain, so we like to walk because you never know what you might stumble upon. Could be a cool area, could be something you wouldn't see if you took a car and didn't walk. But from the garden to here, we took an Uber because I refuse to walk 30 minutes on the side of a busy street with no shade. So a 30-minute, it was going to be a 30-minute walk in the middle of the day in the heat. It's 100 degrees. And it was just a 60-cent Uber ride. And what's great about Uber here is that because there's no rules on the road, they literally can pick you up from anywhere. Middle of the road? Sure. So we're inside of the mosque. Look at me, sweating like a pig. And I'm wearing my very inexpensive headscarf that I bought when I was in the Hagia Sophia. And I realized women here that are visiting are not wearing headscarves. So I guess I could take it off. So here is the map of the Mosque of Muhammad Ali. Here's the, gosh, what's the word for these? When they tell you what's what, but it's not color coded. I think I just look at how much dirt is on it, and then I just match the colors. You know, we pay $10 to get in here. I expect it to be maintained. Like, Egypt, get your act together. Pay $10. All right, we are in the police museum part, and it has a pretty nice view. Okay, I don't know if it's nice, but it has a view of the city, and you get to see how smoggy and foggy and cloudy, and you can hear the commotion down there with all the cars honking. We are just about to head out of the Citadel. We visited the mosque, the military museum, we did our rounds. Well, I do think it's worth the $10. A lot of space to cover, but a lot of this area looks kind of get out of my freaking camera. Post-apocalyptic. Like, there's areas where it almost looks like Universal Studios back studio Hollywood drop thing, where it's like they filmed some sort of war-torn movie, whatever here. Let me give you an example. Here's the gift shop. But look at the condition of these cards, and look at these guides. It's very interesting. Egypt is a very interesting country. Nothing like I've ever experienced before. Anyway, we're gonna take the Uber, head back to our hotel. It's about 4 or 5. I'm done. I'm done for the day. Okay, it's 8:30. We have been picked up by our driver Omar, and we're gonna go pick up our tour guide now, who I'm so excited to hear. She's a lady. Haven't seen much ladies. We're heading down this dilapidated pyramid. All right, is this gonna trigger my claustrophobia? So we just made our way inside of the Onus pyramid. I know it just looks like a bunch of rubble. Once you go down, it's kind of claustrophobic, but I'm claustrophobic and I was fine. And there's a person that takes you underneath and shows you everything on the wall and shines a light on the wall so that you can see like the carvings that you can't see with the naked eye. So just make sure you have like some extra money to tip him, because it's expected. And he could be your photographer inside too. In this one, you can actually walk all the way down and walk all the way up. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it because, you know, claustrophobic. Someone who was coming down told me to save my energy. Is that true? Save my energy?
It's a bit tough,
But doable. You guys all survived. It's a bit tough, which means I don't want to do it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Come
No.
Going.
Jose went in. He was in there for, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes. He said the hardest part is the first part down, which is that part that looks very, very narrow and small. But after that, it's not so bad, but it is quite a climb. Everybody that came out was sweating. The pyramids used to be covered in alabaster, which is what like the top of that one is covered. When the Islamic ruler came, they took it to build mosques and homes, etc. So that's why there's no covering. Look at this view. We have the pyramids. I'll do a pan around. 20,000 pounds minimum. You can be with that group right down there. But for us, you know, we'll just stay over here, look at the Sphinx. Its beard is in Berlin. Its nose is broken, falling apart. It needs a nose job. We stopped by Fargali Fruit for a mango smoothie. It's basically mango pulp. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. So we ordered a beef and chicken shawarma. Delicious. He says it's delicious. So shawarma was $80, which was obviously $2 each, which is a deal. The juice, like I mentioned, was $60, which I thought was a little bit overpriced. I mean, it was only $3 and it was a large, but I think we paid for hers too, which is fine, I guess. Sorry for the terrible lighting, but we're inside our hotel room and I'm unwrapping the shawarma. Oh, this is the chicken one. I figured we can eat and talk about, give a review about our tour that we booked. It's supposed to be from 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 and then an hour to send us back, take us back, so 8 to 5. We got picked up at 8:30 and we were back by 2:30. The $45 that we paid yesterday doesn't include any of the entrance and it doesn't include any of the tips and it doesn't include any food. And the food, our tour guide just asked us what we wanted to eat and what we haven't eaten yet, and we told her that she just took us to, she's from Giza, so she took us to I guess spots that she goes to. Both had great English. She did ask us if we wanted to stop at two places. One was like a carpet school, which is where the farmers would send their kids to learn, I guess, the trade of carpet making because they can't afford to send them to normal schools. We passed on that because we don't want to be sold to. And then there was another option to go see how papyrus was made, and we skipped on that because we didn't want to get sold to. She said the best view in the Giza pyramid is to take a horse or take a camel because there's so much space to cover, and only with a horse or camel you can kind of see like all 5 pyramids at once. We passed on that because we told her that we already rode camels in Morocco and we don't need to do that. In my opinion, I think the $45 was totally worth it because we got a driver, we got a tour guide, and she was also our photographer and took many photos of us, and she kind of knew where the spots were where there weren't like a lot of people and no crowds. Even though the tour ended like 2 hours early, to me, I'm like, I'm happy to be back home. I'm happy to be back in the hotel room. Rana, our tour guide, asked us which one we wanted, and we said we were gonna share one. She's like, no, they're really small. So we eat 2. So I'm like, okay, fine. If they're really small, we'll get one of each. We get chicken and beef, and look at them. They're the size of a freaking foot long from Subway. One more piece of advice is that when you're going to any of these tourist sites, keep small bills with you, like 5 pounds, 10 pounds. I think 5 pounds, 10 pounds. A lot of the bathrooms, there's someone in the front waiting to collect the money. Or in the case of the pyramids of Giza, it was actually required. Like they give you a ticket for the washroom. It's 10 Egyptian pounds. Foreigners, well, what's the local person rate? Look, they even have an actual printed ticket to go to the bathroom. This ticket is for the bathroom right in the entrance, which our guide said was the cleanest one. It's clean, it's fine, but the doors don't lock. There's water all over the floor. Also, when you are entering any sort of pyramid or whatever it is, there's always gonna be guys. There's men everywhere in this place, everywhere. And they like to do this when you exit. 95% of the time we ignore them because we said, well, what service have you given us for this? The only time we did pay for somebody today was when we were in Saqqara. It's our last night in Cairo, and I have to admit, I'm very excited to leave. We got to see all the magical wonders of Egypt, but the city is very exhausting, and I think we stayed one too many days here, to be honest. I'm thrilled to be leaving. Oh my God, you have to get the mango juice when you're in Egypt. So the moussaka has eggplant. This one has some like potato wedges, minced meat.
All right, first bite of the mac and cheese, and I'm sold. It's pretty tasty for Egyptian mac and cheese. And that wraps up my 3 days in Cairo. If you have any questions about visiting Cairo, please leave it down in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram to stay up to date in real time as I'm bouncing around the world. Shukran for watching, and I'll see you on the next stop of my world tour.